Just about to do a quick retune of the car's overall spectral balance using my VST plugin setup running off a computer in the car. Now this graph here on the right, I will use the analyze button to analyze to within very fine details of the spectral imbalance, and then capture that and then apply it to a corrective EQ, which is exactly the same plugin, over the stereo feed that feeds all the other channels to the amplifiers, and that will correct it. And then I will remeasure it with the same microphone, and you'll see how close it gets it. Now the measurement is using a Behringer ECM 8000. I put it in this piece of foam just so I can concentrate the forward facing frequencies rather than the ambient side frequencies, and also just to make sure that there's no diffraction around the tip of the microphone itself. It just helps in that last 15 to 20k. And this is the noise, and I use an averaging capture around the head space area, and then I will press the analyze button, and then we'll start. So that was pretty rough because I was holding this phone the whole time, but the orange line is what was just captured, and as you can see, it's plus or minus 6 dB along that line. And I'll do a proper measurement. I'll just press pause. Now I've loaded that response into the corrective EQ, and what I will now do, I have to kind of do this back to front, but it works out better. I've equalized the car to sound like the capture. You can use the separate function, but it doesn't work. So you equalize it to sound like your capture, and then you invert it. You've got to click that there. Alright, so now this is the inverse correction to the capture. And you can roughly go 12 dB correction, but in this case I'll give it a 20 dB range correction just to get it closer, graphically speaking. To my ears, going halfway is better than going all the way. So I'm doing 20 dB correction. Then I'll press the white noise and do a capture. Pink noise, sorry. And I'm moving the microphone around. As you can see, the corrected filter applied to the channels has now created this blue line, which you can see is maybe overcorrecting, because where there's troughs there's now peaks. So I will correct that correction factor down by 50%. Go to 10 or 11. And remeasure the blue line. Now you can see the captured response there is flatter at the top with no reverse troughing, and that anomaly there is probably because I'm holding my phone and talking, but I'll retest it and you can generally get a flat blue line all through the response. But for the purpose of making this video, I'd say that's a pretty good demonstration. The recaptured response there from 1K upwards is pretty flat. So that's the corrective equalizer I use to correct the response in this car.